few exams to understand your knowledge about Swedish before actually giving you the citizenship. When people do not speak English, or language is very much dependent on the context. Hi guys, hur mår du? Jag är superbra som alltid. Och jag välkomnar dig tillbaka på min kanal. And with that introduction in my very funny Swedish accent, I'm sure you might have understood by now what is the topic of today's video. This August 2023, I have completed my 2 years in Sweden. In this video, I would like to talk about what is my progress in Swedish, and also I would like to talk about what are the different channels, what are the different mediums through which you can learn Swedish while living in Sweden or from abroad. I would like to talk about paid sources, free sources, physical, and also about the online sources through which you can learn Swedish. Before we actually dive into the topic, before we actually start talking about the sources, the first and foremost question is, do we actually need to know Swedish to survive in Sweden? Do you need to know Swedish to find jobs? Answer to that question is absolutely no. More than 90% of the Swedish population knows English very well. Everybody understands English so well that you don't need to actually learn Swedish. And I would say that also is one of the hindrance, because when people do not speak English or your language, then you do not have any other choice but to learn their language. But that is not the case in Sweden. You can encounter only few older generations who might not be able to understand English very well. Otherwise, it's completely fine to speak English, everybody understands. But at the same time, I would say it is important to learn. By learning the language, you can understand the culture, you can understand the music, you can understand the movies, you can understand the insider jokes that your colleague might pass on. There is also one more very strong reason that I would recommend all the immigrants living in Sweden to learn Swedish is the current government is very much emphasizing on learning Swedish. The report says that government might conduct few exams to understand your knowledge about Swedish and also your knowledge about Swedish culture before actually giving you the citizenship, before actually issuing the citizenship. So I would say it is all the more important at this point of time to learn Swedish. Talking about learning Swedish, I'm sure you might have heard about SFI, which is also called as Swedish for immigrants. But to take classes in the SFI, you must have the personal number. I might have emphasized the importance of personal number in my various previous video, but I would also like to say it again. Having a personal number in Sweden is very essential part of your life. It is connected at various platforms, it is connected at various services that you might need to take in Sweden. But what if you don't have a personal number and you only have a coordination number and resident permit? In that case, there are some paid courses, there are some paid classes. The first is Folk University. You can check on their webpage what is the best suitable classes for you. If you have time, maybe you can go for the very intensive Swedish classes, or if you're working, then maybe you can go for the part-time classes. Second option in case of paid courses is Berlitz. Main principle of Berlitz is they focus on very small intensive group. Probably you will have classes with 5 to 6 people and it will be for probably 3 hours in a week. Again, based on your need, you can choose. If you want to go for very intensive classes, you can also go for that. My husband took the classes with the Berlitz and he used to have one class in a week and it used to be for 3 hours. The Berlitz mainly focus on the spoken Swedish, how you can communicate, how you can converse with your friend in Swedish. That is the main focus area of Berlitz. The main feedback that I have received from my husband regarding Berlitz is that, first of all, with Berlitz, it's online classes and you are learning Swedish within the group of 5-6 people, and the teachers are quite strict. They speak only in Swedish. So in such kind of environment, let's say 2 people are absent or more than 2 people are absent. So you will be left with hardly 1 or 2 colleagues with whom you have to interact in Swedish. When you are learning a language, you have to repeat certain things to multiple times to learn, to adopt, to memorize it, and it can be little monotonous, it can be little boring. Again, that is his experience. It depends on what kind of partner you get. Let's say you get very motivated partner, you get very inspiring partner. It can be quite fun to repeat some Swedish conversation with him or her. The plus point is you interact with different cultures, different people from various places. The paid courses, if you are working in Sweden, one thing that you can do is you can check with your employers, because many employers have some allocated budget for every team to improve the soft skills, to train them better. You can check with your employer if you can use that budget to improve your Swedish. When we are talking about the free courses, I would say SFI is one of the best services that Sweden is providing to all the immigrant population. SFI has different levels. They have 3 levels, 1, 2 and 3. The level 1 is for the people who have not even been to any kind of formal education. Let's say I do not know to read or write, then I will go to level A, which is like 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. The level 2 is for the people who have at least been to the elementary school. Level B starts with 2B, so it's like 2B, 2C and 2D. And third level is for the people who have higher education, who have been to the university, which starts with 3C and 3D. Once you complete SFI, let's say you have completed 1D or 2D or let's say 3D, you can even further study with SVA or with SAS. But to study with SAS or SVA, you have to complete the SFI. Studies with SVA or SAS is more intensive. If you wish to have very proficiency in the Swedish, then you should go for SVA or SAS. But I would say to have a basic conversation, to interact with people, to interact with the friends, to make friends or to understand the conversation, SFI level D is good enough in my opinion. This is my personal opinion. If you have completed SFI level D, then I would say you can at least understand maybe 60-70% of the Swedish. One thing about SFI that I would like to highlight is that since SFI is free classes, you will see many new students are coming every week, and SFI is highly understaffed. They have very less teachers and they have so many new students coming every week. You can be in the same class for months. Like in my case, this is my personal experience. I have started with SFI 3C, the introduction class. Once I have completed my 2 weeks in the introduction class, I am supposed to move to the class 3C, which is a main 3C class. But in my case, they have kept me in introduction class for 4 months. In the introduction class, every week you will find new students keep on coming, and you have very limited syllabus and the teachers keep on repeating the same thing again and again. I know when you learn a language, you have to repeat certain things for multiple times, but it should not be so much that you have to repeat 2 weeks syllabus for 4 months. At one point of time, I had literally given up, but recently, like 2 weeks back, I was being moved to the next level. One best thing about SFI is that all the teachers at SFI only speak in Swedish. They do not speak in English. So when you first go and attend the classes, you can feel little overwhelmed, but have patience, spend some time, spend few weeks, then slowly you will start understanding what exactly is happening. If you have personal number, then you can take free classes either with SFI or you can also take classes with SFX. SFX is Swedish for the professionals. Let's say you want to learn Swedish to get a job in certain profession. In that case, you should go for the SFX. But the main thing about SFX is that you need to have a lot of time, you need to dedicate time. You cannot do the SFX courses with a job. It's a full-time course. You have to spend 4 hours in a day. You have to study. It's very intensive study. But at the same time, you can learn Swedish very fast. They have different courses based on your education. Let's say you are an engineer, then you will have customized program based on your education, based on your profession. If you are working in medical field, then you will have different kind of customized program. SFX, I would say, is very effective, but again, you must have time. SFX have both online and offline. One of my friend, she was studying in the offline classes, but recently she is taking SFX online classes. But the feedback for the online classes is not so great, because in the online classes you have to study on your own weekly, and you have to complete your assignment on your own, and you have to upload those assignment online. So it's like a lot of self studies. You really need to be highly motivated with the online classes. But yes, you can learn Swedish quite faster with SFX. Apart from the formal classes, I would also highly recommend to have Duolingo app. The best part about this app is that you can improve your vocabulary in much faster way if you are doing Duolingo every day. In Swedish language, you do not have very extensive grammar like English. In English, you have so many rules, regulations, and the language is abide by the rules. But in Swedish, they have very limited grammar, and most of the language is based on your vocabulary. But if you would like to learn language in much faster way, supplement Duolingo with other sources. By just doing Duolingo, it can take much longer than with supplementing other different sources. Apart from Duolingo, there is also one interesting app called Swedish Dictionary. Again, it just translates the word just like a Google Translate. The best part about this dictionary is that when you translate a word, if you want to translate from English to Swedish or Swedish to English, in both the cases, the dictionary will show multiple meanings for the same kind of word. Let's say you want to read something which is written on some train station. So you can just put that word in the dictionary and you can see, okay, what context is best suitable for that particular sentence, and based on that, you can find the meaning. In Swedish language, meaning of the sentence, meaning of the word can be completely different based on the context. The language is very much dependent on the context. One more very good way to learn any language is follow online educators, follow the shorts, videos, TikToks, and with that you can learn the language. I would highly recommend two YouTubers. One is called Fun Swedish. They have very good small videos. They also create reels on the Instagram and shorts on the YouTube. Those are quite effective and also fun at the same time. One more channel that I would highly recommend is a Slow Swedish with Christine. I think she's also quite good. Her videos are quite funny, entertaining, and at the same time a lot of learning. So I would highly recommend to follow these channels. Apart from that, of course, you must watch movies. With the movies, with the web series, try to learn the language. Also, you will have the context of the culture, what kind of festival they celebrate, what kind of food they have, what is the thought process, what are the taboos in the society, what is common, what is not common, and many other things that you can learn with the movies. I can highly recommend you must watch The Bonus Family on the Netflix. Have the English subtitles, you can watch in Swedish. Watch Love and Anarchy, which is very funny. I would also recommend you to watch movie called Cop. Watch Caliphate, which is little bit dark. If you like some kind of dark series, then you can refer to that. Snapback Cash is also something which is crime, thriller and drama. So if you are interested in that, you can also watch that. Once you start watching the Scandinavian series, you will get a lot of suggestions for movies, web series. That I do, and I would also recommend you to do, is that when I'm watching even any English series or any other series, I try to have the subtitles in Swedish language. So when I switch subtitles to Swedish language, I am just trying to relate the English word with that Swedish subtitle. When you see that word again and again, and probably you're learning that word at Dulingo or in your SFE class, then probably you can get the context. Oh, I saw this particular word in that particular series. So probably your mind will work accordingly. So you can try that, which I am trying. Talking about my progress in last 2 years in Swedish language, then I would say now I can frame 2 or 3 sentences. I can order coffee, I can order food. If I have to board a bus, I can talk to the drivers. I can at least start communicating little bit. But if you ask me to have a full-fledged conversation with a friend, then I would say no, I have not reached to that level. It will take some time. I would be really proud of myself the day I will start having a conversation with friends, with colleague in Swedish. Fingers crossed. I am quite motivated and I hope that day will come soon, and I will keep you posted on my progress. Also, I would insist, if you are learning Swedish through any other means, if you are learning Swedish through any other way, please write down in the comment section. It will definitely help me and also to the viewers who are watching this video, and we all can learn Swedish in much better and much faster way. And finally, thank you so much for watching till here. I hope you liked the video. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. And I will come back again on this channel on a new day with a new topic. Till then, please stay tuned. Bye.